Well, has everyone had a good time? Yeah. Yay! We were talking with a couple of folks from Smokey Mountain Knife Works, and they want us back. They want to see us frequently. Y'all have been very gracious, they said. I'd like to extend some thanks to all our volunteers, all the people that wore red today. Larry Oden for heading up this event. Has done a great job as usual. Let's give everybody a round of applause. All right, right after the meal, we're going to give you an opportunity to pick up the last raffle tickets for the Michael Prater Painted Pony Heritage set, which we'll hold up in a little while, and also the 505 set. Now keep in mind, it's the first Wild Bill Cody, Leroy Reamer collaboration with the Buck Collectors Club. We've got a letter of authenticity with that, so we'll take care of that then. Last night, for Michael Blankhart's family, everybody in this room contributed, including the sale of the knives, nearly $1,800. Also, we're out at the table before you all leave. We'll have DVD order forms, so you can relive this over and over and over again and make a great Christmas gift. And then we've got a show coming up in November. I believe it's the 4th, 5th, and 6th of November. No, I'm sorry, 5, 6, and 7. It's going to be in Knoxville. The Spirit of Steel. They got run out of Texas, so it's going to be in Knoxville this year. We've been offered 15 tables for the Buck Collectors Club to fill up. So if you'll see Georgia after the banquet, she'll have some order forms for tables and a little bit of information. We'd love for you to join us November 5, 6, and 7. We've got one VIP here tonight that's going to speak, and he wasn't with us Wednesday night. Bob George, National Sales Director. Could you stand up and let everybody see you? All right, Larry, the trivia contest. Would you come up and explain what's going on with that? Zach and Ashley can help pass that. Yeah. That's right, yeah. So just go ahead and explain.
After the 20-year event, we had a suggestion from a club member that lives in New Mexico that at the next event we do a trivia contest. And I thought it was just a great idea. We talked about it and we decided to do it. So a little bit later, while you are getting in line or waiting for your table to be called to go up to the buffet, a few of us are going to pass around the trivia contest questions at your table. Now here's the thing. People like Joe Hauser and C.J. Buck and John and myself are not eligible. So we cannot help our table. We can't give answers. We've just got to keep mum. Okay? You will need to appoint one person from your table to be the table spokesperson. During the meal, during the time that we're interacting, I'm sure you will have time to discuss these questions and come up with a group answer. I don't want any fights to break out if there's disagreement at your table. But I guess the person you appoint will end up having to be the person that makes the final decision on what your final answer is. And we're going to have a lot of fun with this. A little bit later, I'll come up here and we'll go through the questions one by one and give the answers. And we have some really special prizes for the winning table. And everyone at that table will get the prize. Joe, are you waving at me or?
Are you sure I can't help my wife?
I am positive. She's already got some big advantages because her last name is Buck, and it will help. Okay, so we're going to have a lot of fun with this, and I think you'll enjoy it.
Now, if a fight does break out, please let Eric know so he can videotape it, because I want to relive that over and over and over again. All right, Brent, can you come up and do an invocation? And as soon as Brent is done, we can start eating. We're going to do 2 tables from each side, and we'll start with table, and table, and just don't fight over the food, because I want some before it's gone.
Would you stand with me as we honor our Lord? Gentlemen, a gentle reminder to remove your hats, if you would. Heavenly Father, we do thank you once again for this beautiful day you've given us, and we thank you, Lord, that for the friendship, the fellowship, and the love that has been shown among our Buck Collectors Club members. We thank you for reminding us through CJ of the great love that Al had for you, and we just are so grateful, Lord, that we're a part and associated with a company that is led by God-fearing men. And we just thank you for that, Lord, and we pray, Lord, that you continue to inspire those in that company, inspire them to continue to recognize you as the chairman of their board, to recognize you through prayer, prayerful decision-making, and through the love that is shown toward you through the message in the box and the emphasis on John 3:16. Lord, we just pray also for safety as we travel, and we pray that this food will be blessed and nourish our bodies for service to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
You don't let them hone in on what you're saying to get them ideas.
It's okay to listen.
Charlie, you're always causing trouble. You know that? Always causing
Prior to 1985. Psalm 40 states 5. So anything after that is it's either B or D. I just well, it's definitely not A or C.
Fun, fun, fun. Thank you, I owe you. I don't think they can finish one yet. They feel like you're taking like that. Yeah.
Surely they get number 4, but just 500 says over there. I've got 1 on the front page. Number 3.
Something really cool happened, I think, right before the banquet. We were outside, and a lady came up to me and says, "Where do I hand this application in?" She said, "I've had such a good time being here with my husband that I've decided to join." And I just found out a few minutes ago that she joined as a lifetime member. So our newest lifetime member, Carol Johnson, can you stand up, please? Welcome to the club. What? Oh, she did stand. Can you stand again? We need to get you on camera. We're going to make you famous. We've also got a new annual member, Ashley Carnes. And is there anybody else in here that I'm unaware of that signed up? Yes, Lynn, that's right. Stand up. Anybody else? Well, we did pretty good. We've also, in attendance tonight, we've got a very special club member who is going to turn 70 on Monday, and it's also her 51st birthday. And I'm going to step away from the mic because you don't want to hear me be the lead singer, but would you all join me in singing happy birthday to Arlene Logan? Did I say 51st anniversary on Monday? 70th birthday, 51st birthday. And, yeah. Whatever. See, this is the reason I'm having trouble, okay? Golly.
I'd like some shrimp.
I'm going to turn this over while I can to Russ Donahue. He's going to give us a little bit on the anniversary. I mean, yeah, see? I'm all messed up now. On the history of the BCCI.
As in Atlanta, at the annual membership meeting, I'm going to just stand here for a moment and let you look at me. There's a story behind that for those that weren't in Atlanta. Which of the following was not a name used on the buck axe? I can only imagine who concocted all of those questions, and that's okay, Larry. Our 25th anniversary is coming up in 2013. And after the 20th event, I mentioned to President John that somebody should write a brief history of the club while things are still fresh in the older minds. So he sat on it for a while and called me back and said, "Do you know anybody in Utah that might consider writing this?" So it was an honor for me to say yes. So for the last 2 years, I've been working on it, and I want to give you a glimpse this evening of what hopefully will come to you in Post Falls in 2013. It may be nothing more than a pamphlet. It may be nothing more than just words on the back of a business card, or it may be a book with pictures in it. We have board approval to do this, and there's some people I'd like to thank in my brief period that I've been working on this. And I want to start off with my wife, Marge, who is my senior editor. That's true, okay, sorry about that. And of course, President John and Larry Oden and Gene Merritt and Mr. Hauser. They've been vital in helping me get started and to give me a brief glimpse of what's out there before us. So what I'm going to do this evening is just read you a few brief paragraphs of what's been done so far that hopefully it'll whet your appetite, and I'm always open to suggestions and so forth. This is still in rough draft, and I try and send a year to Larry and John when I get it completed for their input and so forth. When arriving at the entrance of the Buck factory in Post Falls, you find a striking and heartwarming symbol of a rich family business that has its roots deeply planted in America. 4 large basalt rocks are arranged in the front of the parking lot that welcome all who visit the factory. One rock is situated horizontally and has the sign with Buck Knives chipped into the face. This stone may well symbolize the first-generation family member, Hoyt Buck. Standing vertically then behind the chip sign are 4 large rocks that could well represent the 4 succeeding generations of the Buck family. Clear water flows over the vertical rocks, seeming to give Buck Knives its daily vitality, a clear vision of the future, and a continued commitment to excellence. Flying nearby is the American flag. Such a scene can cause visitors to pause and reflect on our great country and this special American knife company. The Buck Collectors Club began to surface as an American organization 20 years before it was even formed. Vern Taylor, a Buck sales representative and club founder, became interested in collecting Buck knives that he'd been selling, and thus set the course for the future formation of the club in 1988. Vern gave the reason for his newfound interest in collecting Buck models when he stated, quote, "My personal interest started in 1968 when I first noticed the stamp had changed. The 3 letters USA had been added below the familiar Buck on the tang. I'd been collecting percussion Colts for many years, and I knew that this change may be of interest in another 20 or 30 years. So I put away a complete set, 11 knives with the old mark." Vern's simple thoughts in 1968 about collecting, along with his continued pursuit to help others understand and enjoy collecting Buck knives, along with the newly formed club in 1988, can be traced back to those 3 simple letters stamped on the blade tangs that are so important, USA. From 1988 until 1992, Vern organized and took care of the club's affairs. The club had no formal or legal status with articles of incorporation or even bylaws. Buck Knives took over the management of the club in 1992, with Chuck Buck being president and Fred Wilson assuming the duties as club administrator. The general membership was represented by an elected advisory committee. Along with Chuck as president and Fred as administrator, the 3 elected members were Murray Andrews, Eugene Shoemaker, and Paul Lentz. Then in 1998, the formal Buck Collectors Club was officially organized as a nonprofit corporation in Ohio. The Articles of Incorporation were signed on December 28, 1998, by Murray Andrews, Paul Lentz, and John Forsman. The first formal club advisory board included Chuck Buck as president and Joe Hauser as director, along with Murray Andrews, Paul Lentz, Gordon McCoy, James Freeland, Ernie Logan, and Elgin Thomas as the other members. Vern was born in Amarillo, Texas, and worked for Buck Knives in Northern California as a sales representative. Passed away June 25th of 2003. Vern was married his sweetheart, Pam, and they had 2 boys. Pam currently lives in Oregon. Vern is a member of the BCCI Hall of Fame and was one of the original 8 inductees in 2008. Noted knife authority Bernard Levine encouraged Vern to organize a buck collectors club and asked him in 1984 to write several chapters for his new book, Levine's Guide to Knives and Their Values. In a 2000 article, Vern paid a small tribute to Bernard. Quote, "Bernie was the catalyst that made into reality the whole idea of the Buck Collectors Club. I'm still grateful to him for providing the impetus necessary to move the whole thing from idea to reality." So as you start then reading through the history of the Buck Collectors Club, through the newsletters, it's interesting that Vern's first newsletter, here are his very first words to use the members. This was November 1988. Vern's first words in the newsletter were, "I started keeping track of the memberships as they came in. I just didn't let everyone know what their membership number was. Your membership number is." Those were his very first words. In conclusion for the little thing tonight, even though Vern no longer managed the affairs of the Buck Collectors Club, he was still communicating with the membership through the newsletter in 1992. This may have helped the members better understand the club's transition from him to Buck Knives. Many times in life, the right person arrives on the scene at the right time and works to solve problems or create something new, as Vern did. His vast knowledge of Buck Knives and his desire to help other people enjoy and understand the knives they used and collected were the cornerstone of Vern's creation, the Buck Collectors Club. I met Pam Taylor at the Eugene show last April for the first time and had a lovely supper with her. And I think had I known Vern Taylor that we may have become fairly close friends. One of her first comments to me was, he was a man of the earth. And having ridden in several rodeos in my life, I can attest that I too am a man of the earth. Thanks.
All right, well, what I was asked to do this evening is give a little presentation on what's coming up for Buck. So this is a little slideshow on new products. Here's one of the newest Buck products. This one was actually conceived in 2007. Anyway, this is my grandson, Tan. So he just turned 2 this year. And I think pictures speak for themselves. One of the things we do at Buck is we do a lot of design validation. So we really spend a lot of time collaborating with a lot of different groups. We try and bring in subject matter experts to, help us. And one of the key focuses that we've been working on is in the hunting products, which you can, you've seen with the ergos and the pack lights and stuff like that. You can see a lot of the hunting organizations, Rocky Mountain Elk, Jim Shockey, Mule Deer Foundation. Down at the bottom is Chad Shearer. We sponsor a professional pro bass fisherman, Bill Lowen, who was supposed to be here tonight, but he ended up going in for emergency gallbladder surgery today. Yeah, that's pre-gall, well, that's not, well, whatever. He still had a gallbladder in that picture. So this is hunting, made in USA in a leadership position. These are the key hunting products that were introduced in 2010. The pack lights were actually late season 2009, but you can see the 3 pack lights on the side. You can see some of the neat combo packs down at the bottom. You can see the folding ergo family, and then the boning and the little caping knife down in the corner. I'm going to keep moving here. These are the combos. You know, we did the Omni. When you look at, one of the things I'd like to stress is when you look at the usefulness of these combo packs, you know, we've tried to really take what's a good combination of capability. You know, so you've got the big Omni skinner with the gut hook built onto the knife and the caping knife, the little pack light caper. That's a neat combination of utility. You take the little, a smaller Omni skinner with the gut hook, that's a neat combination of utility. And then you just get a little classier version with the Alpha Hunter and the gut hook. These, I'm really excited about. This is the one that bit me today, by the way. Signing somebody's. I tried to show them how you could choke up in front of that, in front of the guard area. You could choke up into that choil, and I slipped my finger right over that little sharpened point. So, can't believe I said that in public. Okay, these are this is the caping knife. This is taken off of the small game, the Ergo small game family. So it's got that same ergonomic handle, utilizing a very, very effective little caping blade, and then the boning knife. This is a 6-knife set that we developed for Cabela's, and what Cabela's is doing is they're doing a product laddering situation where they have a good, a better, and a best, and their standard, good is the standard buck line. This Jim Shockey series with the Sandvik steel, it's all black, there's no camo involved, it's kind of based upon the Jim Shockey hunting TV show. He's got kind of rock star status when you see him in a hunting environment at the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation or even at SHOT Show. It was amazing to follow him through a room and watch people recognize him. So this set is kind of based upon the minimalist that he is. He's not into gimmicks. He just likes good, basic, functioning product. So these are all black, and you can see the African-esque names, but those are the products. This series will probably grow. Cabela's is using this as their mid-level product group, and they chose Buck to do it, which is a very much a testament to our relationship with them. And then they're still doing the Alaskan Guide series, which is the S30V. So their top of the line is a Buck product. Their mid-grade line is a Buck manufactured product, all made in USA. And then their standard line is everybody's standard product. You can see we're doing a lot of work in every day. 2010 was the Paradigm. And I was asked today why the Paradigm took so long to introduce. Basically, the Paradigm was supposed to be introduced in August of last year. We delayed it. Well, it was actually supposed to be introduced with the Vantages in January 2009. But there's a lot of design complexity in that mechanism. It's very, very difficult to get that bolster lock to lock the blade tight with no up and down wobble. So that's been the engineering challenge. We didn't want to put it out till it was right. So we introduced it in January, and still didn't feel like we were getting a high enough net product. We were still losing a lot with that wobble. So they did another redesign, And now that they're coming in nice and tight. They're coming in flawless right now. So now the paradigms should be, if they're not already, they should be off back order soon, and we should start shipping them. We have really had an amazing response to paradigms. The one next to it is Quickfire. Had a great response to the Quickfire. Quickfire is another assisted opener. Doesn't have any kind of flipper on it. You just push it with your thumb, and it's a lockback. So it's kind of a more traditional in action. It's a more traditional knife, even though it's assisted opener. We kind of felt like it might be a bridge to people that aren't really into newfangled stuff, but if you mix an assisted opener with a lockback, that might give somebody a chance to take a little small step towards some of the new mechanisms. You can see the Vantages up on top there, and then a couple new pocket knives. That one on the bottom is the Chairman series, which my father's very proud of. So these are paradigms. So there's the Chairman series. A little bit more work goes into those, a little more rounding of corners. They're really a nice, it's something he'd wanted to do for a long time. So these are the new products for camping, and I've talked to a number of people about paper stone. You know, paper stone is a recycled paper material. It's recycled paper, and the resin holding it together is an organic, non-petroleum-based resin. It's actually made of ground-up cashew shells. This is a cutting board. It's a cutting board and countertop material. It's not quite as hard as micarta or some of the petroleum-based plastics, but it has excellent resistance to heat and moisture. So the Eco Lights, we do a 110 and a 112. Actually, these I'll take these one at a time. This is kind of a cool, this is paper stone on a Metro. So these are USA-made Metros with a pad print paper stone. They're kind of cool. We've put paper stone on a couple of Vantages. And then these are the Eco Lights, the 110 and the 112. And they're just getting really, really well received. For a lot of our dealers are so dominated by black product that it's really nice to throw a little color into the display. It really pops nicely, and we're really one of the only companies right now doing that, putting a little color into display. This one I'm really excited about. This is the folding fillet, and it is just an outstanding product. It's the only folding fillet knife we've made in decades that has decent flex in a blade. So it really is a nice product. Kind of gives you open and close. One of the neat things I like is you can actually grip that handle. You see that first bulge? There's enough handle behind that bulge that you can grip that knife behind that bulge and really extend it out in front of you and get some nice flex and some nice reach when you're filleting larger fish. We're also working on kitchen knives. So this is something we're excited about. This is the spreader. And anybody in here have one of these? Okay, good. They're somehow this whole table raised their hand. These are great. They're a combination of a partially serrated, slim-bladed slicer that's fat enough and wide enough and has kind of a rounded point that you can spread to make the sandwich and then cut the meat and cut the bread, and it is just one of the most useful little knives you'll ever have. So we're excited about the spreader. These are the paper stone cutlery sets. So we are doing, I think these things are just on our website right now. I don't know if we've had any dealers actually pick these up yet, but they're in the catalog and we're starting to move them. We're shipping them. And then the rosewood, so that's the same set in the rosewood. This set, a little bit of a story about where the set originally came from. We had a partnership going with a company that was a direct marketing company. They went to fairs and home shows and sold directly, so it was really kind of the, step right up, and if you order now, I'll throw in this to, you let him make the decisions? Come on, little lady, step up here and make this call. Anyway, they would go to the fairs and do all that fast-talking stuff, and they just crumbled. This economy killed them, and as well as a father-son falling out. But the combination of those two things, we're on our own to market and sell this cutlery line. So that's what we're doing. This is a fun one. We've done an elk-handled version. And I know Dick and Mary Cabela's ordered one of these sets. So at some cabin somewhere, when Dick Cabela's is entertaining, he's using an elk-handled buck cutlery set. That's it. And is Bob coming up after me, or who's next after me? Okay. Is that good?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, CJ. Did everybody finish their trivia contest? Didn't see any fights. Did this table right here finish? Mr. Foreman? All right, Larry, would you come on up and conduct the final results?
How cool is it that we have the president of Buck Knives come and show us what's going to be in 2011? Is that cool or what? How many cutlery companies would ever do that? He trusts us, guys, to keep what he showed us in this room, okay? Did you have fun with the trivia contest? You ready to poke holes in me? Okay. Well, let's go through them. Number one. Oh, that's right. Spelling counts according to our principal back there. Number one, before Hoyt Buck's death in 1949, he was relieved that his son Al had finally mastered what important knife-making skill, one that would be essential if Al was to have any chance of keeping the company in business. What's the correct answer on that one? No. C. Al had learned how to consistently hollow grind blades. Al had trouble getting that down, and had you been in Leroy and Wild Bill and John's custom seminar today, you would have heard them all talk about how difficult it is to hollow grind. Okay, number two, the 6 original factory production buck models offered in 1961 were, what's the correct answer? A is right. Now that one was a little tricky. What was the little trick in there? The 110. And again, had you been in several of the seminars, you would have heard that the Model 103 Skinner that we know today was originally called the Model 110 Skinner. So we threw you a little curve there. Number three, in 1964, Buck introduced a new fillet model, the Model 121 Fisherman. This knife incorporated what unique feature that set it apart from other Buck models? Correct answer is C. That's right, the scaler on the spine of the blade, C. How many tables are 3 for 3 correct? Woohoo! All right. Number 4. In 1975, Buck brought out the first knife in the Slimline 500 series. What was the model number and name of this knife? B is right, the 501 Esquire. Number 5 was a real tough one, I think, for a lot of people. Let's see. Which of the following was not a name used on the buck axe? Correct answer is B. How many tables got B right? 1, 2. Wow, I told you it was a tough one. Okay. Number 6. What was the first 700 series model introduced by Buck, and when did it first appear in Buck dealer literature? And I want Russ Donahue to answer the number 6.
7/14 in 1965.
And you are wrong, Potato Breath. Correct answer is D. The 703 Colt in 1980. D. And of course, Russ knew that answer. He's just giving me a hard time. Number 7. In 1980, Buck Knives moved into a new facility at 1900 Weld Boulevard, El Cajon, California. What was the Buck Knives location address immediately prior to this move? Note, not all of the following addresses were in El Cajon. Correct answer is D. Of course, Merrill Lee knows that one. D. 1717 North Magnolia Avenue. How are you doing? Not well? Okay. Number 8. Buck 300 series knives were first made on contract by Schrade. The contract was soon changed to Camillus because they used solid bolsters with pivot rivets that allowed easier warranty blade replacement. What Buck models were made by Schrade? The correct answer is B as in boy. The 301 and the 303 Cadet were made by Schrade. It's B. You are out of order. B. Pat, if he backtalks anymore, I want you to escort him home. Number 9. Who was the first supervisor of the Buck Custom Shop? Leroy, who was it? C. Byron McKinney. Okay. Number 10. Vern Taylor established the Buck Collectors Club in 1988. The first club knife was a Model 531 Bucklock 1 issued in 1990. What made this knife unique? C. Good job, Arlene. Both A and B are correct, so the answer is C. If you have A or if you have B, you're only partially correct. Number 11, this is a fun one. In 1997, Buck offered a limited edition 110, the model 110 LL, with a liner lock in place of the normal lockback. The knife featured a nickel-silver frame and a modified drop-point blade, plus aqua green fiber and handle inlays. What major challenge did Buck face in bringing this model to market? What was the correct answer there? Wild Bill knows because he probably helped put those correct ones together. It was A. A. Number 12, a pre-factory production buck fixed blade with a brass spacer in the guard and pommel is most likely from what time period? Now remember, most likely. D. D is right. The late 50s through 61. It is D, as in dog. Number 13 is probably the easiest question of this list. A Model 119 with a tang stamp of Buck over 119 with a plus mark USA would have most likely been produced in what time frame? What is the correct answer? C, as in Charlie. 1991 is the plus year mark, and then of course Buck could have had 91 blades remaining that they used in 1992. That's the logic behind that answer. Number 14, the Buck Memory Series is most remembered for having what feature? A, good job. Charlie Toff gave that answer to you, right, Lynn? A. Okay, number 15. A most coveted BCCI award for outstanding contributions on behalf of the club is named after this revered individual who was considered to be the heart and soul of the organization. He is gone, but his memory lives on in the hearts and minds of those who knew him. The correct answer is C, Paul Lentz. The rest of these people also are in our hearts and minds, but the correct answer is C. 16, the first 700 series model distributed by Buck Knives ran off the road. What problem led to a recall and warranty claims? Correct answer is C. That's right. The back springs were improperly heat treated. Number 17. What model was the very first BCCI offering other than an annual knife with the gold-etched club logo? In other words, leaving aside the annual knives, what was the first BCCI offering? It was a fundraising knife. This knife was first offered in 2003. What model was it? A is right. A, it was the 532 with the white anvil, painted anvil engraved in the handle. So how are you doing? Okay, here's number 18. David Yellowhorse enhanced buck knives are extremely popular. Duh. How did David come up with his idea of using channel inlays for a knife handle? Now, if you went to David's seminar yesterday, you would know this answer easily. The correct answer is C, as in Charlie. Boy, I've got a blonde back here celebrating. Good job, Cheryl. Cheryl, were you in David's seminar? All right. See, our people and our members' wives do learn from our seminars. You did a good job there, Dave. Okay, 19. Cheryl, will you go over and instruct Dave, please? Okay, 19. The Buck Custom Shop offered 3 general types of knives. Which of the following were most prevalent? A. A is right. I heard someone say it. Standard Buck models with custom shop enhancements were the most prevalent. Not by a large amount, but they were. Number 20. During the 1990s, 2 Buck models were chosen as Knife of the Year at the Blade Show. The 2 models and the years chosen were D as in dog. D. Now, before we look at the questions and answers on the tiebreakers, I want the spokesperson for each table to quickly add up your number of correct answers and stand. This has been fun, hasn't it? That crazy Dave. Can you count that high, George? Count them. Whoever from your table knows, stand up. Okay, every table ready? Yeah, I don't want to know yet. I just want you to stand once you have it counted. We need somebody from this table to stand. Oh, I'm sorry, Craig's there. John, Russ. This table over here, are you ready? I need your spokesman to stand. Chuck, okay. 1, 2. Now, Mary Lee, I don't want you over there fighting with them. Okay, we're all ready. Here we go. If you had 11 answers correct or less, will you please sit down? We're really glad that you came, like it says. If you had 12 answers correct or less, please sit down. Woo! 13 or less, please sit down. 14 or less, please sit down. I thought you had 14 over there. They changed an answer, didn't they? Okay, so 15 on both for both of you? Okay, first tiebreaker. You two can remain standing. Which 4 of the following standard Buck knives models were most chosen for enhancement in the old Buck custom shop in order of rank, from first to fourth? What was the number 1 on your list, Mary Lee? Nope. The 401 was first. Okay, what was your number 2 answer? Okay. What was yours, George? What was your answer, George? 401. What was your third answer, George? What was yours? It was 500. And the 501 was the fourth. So we will go to the second tiebreaker, and number 1 was the 401, number 2 was the 110, number 3 was the 500, number 4 was the 501. So we'll go to the second tiebreaker, because you both missed that one in the same way. Mary Lee has a little bit of an advantage here, maybe. George, what is your answer to tiebreaker number 2? Mary Lee, we go to tiebreaker number 3. I did not think that was going to happen. May 13, 1936. They both were right.
We might need to get a coin and flip it.
Tiebreaker number 3. Which of the following is not a model number ever used by Buck Knives for any of its products? George? Mary Lee? You picked, you both are correct. You guys tied. How did that happen?
I don't know.
E. E.
Collaborated together as a team. On the last one we didn't, but
Are you making a confession?
yes,
Okay, so are you going to let them win? Okay.
Okay, Larry is delivering to the winning table 8 swing clocks with the Buck Collectors Club logo on it. Nicholas, could you come on up, give me a hand? We're going to do some more drawings before Bob George comes up and speaks. Brian, could you come up and be a runner again? Yeah. As soon as somebody hollers out, if you'll go ahead and pick the next one so we can expedite.
7331753. Seven 331-780. Okay. Seven 331-719. Seven 331-769. Seven 331-732. Seven 331-7. No. Yeah, 7331715. Seven 331-686. Seven 331-754. Seven 331-778. How many more? Seven 331-784. Seven 331-694.
Nicholas, Rusty said he hasn't won anything at that table, so try to pick a ticket from him, okay? No, we still have, yeah, we are on to the tables. Did he really?
Seven 331-774.
You get this right here.
A treehouse. Seven 331-705. Draw again.
Pick another one, yeah.
So I'll take it. Seven 331-690.
We got one left, right?
Okay, yep, hold on before you pick that. This next one, folks, is for the big dollar. Oh, there.
Seven 331-697.
Thank you, Nicholas. All right, we've heard from Buck President CJ. Now, next up is Bob George, National Sales Market Director.
It's a pleasure to be here. The folks that really know me the best would tell you I probably don't even need this microphone, but that's a different story here. First, it's really a pleasure to be here with a passionate organization like yourselves that live, eat, drink, and breathe Buck knives. I mean, I make my living off of it, and you guys are a main part of what's made Buck a popular brand around the world. I have the pleasure to get to represent Buck knives all over the place. CJ and I do a lot of traveling. As a matter of fact, I leave here, I go to back to Nashville, then I go up to Toronto, Canada, Montreal, Canada, Quebec, Canada, Philadelphia, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and then back home, and I'm taking a vacation. So right before this event started, I was talking to Chuck, and just to kind of give you an idea of how Chuck and CJ will really step up for us when we need them. We had an opportunity come about for the International Association of Firefighters Convention in San Diego, California in 2 weeks. And we deal with the USA Union Sportsmen, and I'm sure you guys have seen some of the stuff that we're doing with them. And I had a meeting with them yesterday in Nashville, and I was talking to the director, and he was telling me about the Firefighters Association event. And he said, you know, it'd be great if we could get CJ or Chuck there. And I said, well, you know, I've got Chuck down there in California for our Bass Pro Shops at Rancho Cucamonga and then Manteca. I said, you know, so we could very possibly bring him back down there. And I started looking, and CJ and I were talking, and I was like, oh, crap. I got him up in Northern California, which he'll have been in San Diego, down in that area, and then drive up to Northern California. And then the next day, I would need him back in San Diego, and believe it or not, he just told me, he said, oh, yeah, I'll do it. That's great. So, you know, they never tell me no, very, very rarely, and it's my job to keep them busy, and I think they'll tell you we're doing a pretty good job of that. Originally tonight, we were supposed to have Bill Lowen up here with me, and for those of you that know Bill or have met Bill, he's a great guy. He fishes on the Bassmaster Elite Circuit, which is the major leagues of bass fishing. And I can tell you right now, he is very proud to carry the Buck logo on his chest. He gets a lot of attention because of it. He told me the reason he agreed to work with us, and believe me, he agreed considerably less than what the going rate was, because we had never done anything on the fishing side like that. Because as a boy, his grandfather bought him a Buck knife, and that's all he used growing up. So he is a big believer in Buck knives. But I gotta share a story with you about Bill. CJ and I and Bill were here at Smokey last year for the rep weekend, and we were staying at the Hampton Inn over by the baseball stadium, right off the interstate. And we'd been out and we were entertaining with Tyler Pipes, whose dad, Kevin Pipes, I think you guys saw Wednesday night, that owns Smoky Mountain Knife Works. So we got back to the hotel, and we're in the rooms, and I'm sitting there, and CJ will tell you, we get back if it's 12:30. I mean, you think we were curing cancer, how many emails we get related to Buck knives and the industry and everything. But I'm sitting there, and I'm answering emails, and all of a sudden I hear this lady scream at the top of her lungs. And it was like 11:30, 11:45, and I kind of looked out the door, and I didn't see anything, so I didn't think anything of it. So the next morning, CJ and I and Bill are down having breakfast. And Bill comes in and starts telling me, he says, I had a lady walk into my room last night. And I go, what? He goes, I'm laying in bed, I'm sound asleep. He said, I'm laying there in my skivvies, and all of a sudden he says, I hear noise. And he says, I get up I come around the corner, I look at bed, and there's a lady and like 3 young girls. They're all holding grocery, like bags from all the outlet stores around here. And he says, and all of a sudden I'm standing there in my skivvies, and I look, and they're standing, she goes, and she screams at the top of her lungs. I said, well, what'd you do? He said, I apologized. I said, Bill, she walked in on you. He said, but nobody should have to see that other than my wife. So I'm telling you, when we get him here, and you guys get an opportunity, and we'll get him at the next event, I promise you, when we get the opportunity, you guys will absolutely love Bill Lowen. He's a great ambassador for the company. Chuck has met him, CJ's met him, and everybody, Joe, and we had him at the factory this year after he got second place in one of the tournaments in California. He come over and we had a Bill Lowen weekend type thing. But what I'm going to do now is basically go over a little bit of what CJ and myself and the board of directors went over earlier this week with the board of directors meeting, kind of giving them an idea of what the direction we're going and the different things that we're doing to get the brand out there and recognized and continue to be the #1 hunting brand out there and try to make more strides in other segments of the industry. I can tell you, and this is from the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate how passionate you guys are about this company. And I know in previous regimes, the marketing department didn't really accept you or want to be part of you. I'm here. Anything you guys want to do, I'm more than willing to listen to it. I think what the passion that you have for this organization is outstanding. So it's my pleasure to kind of give you an update as to where we are and what we're doing. Like I stated earlier, CJ, Chuck, and myself have been all over the country, this year especially, for grand openings. CJ and I were in Grand Junction, Colorado for a grand opening of Cabela's. We were at Cabela's we were guests of Tommy Milner, who's the CEO of Cabela's. CJ and I went to Denver for a key vendor meeting, and he basically said, if you're in this hall, and it was about this size right here, he said, if you're in this hall right now, he says, it's because you are a very important aspect of Cabela's business. So that's what people at Cabela's thinks about Buck. This year we decided, when I got the opportunity to run marketing, I wanted to go a different direction, and I hope you guys like the way we're doing it. In years past, the little bit of advertising we did it basically around trying to attract our dealers' attention instead of the consumer's attention. And I'm a firm believer in this economy, you have to build the interest from the consumer side, then to the dealer side, where the consumer comes in and asks for a product simply because they've seen it on a television show, they read about it in a magazine, and I can tell you right now it's starting to work for us. This year, we went from like one show last year to where we have about 7 or 8 different programs we're involved with. Shoot Straight with Chad Shearer, who's another great guy. He loves being an ambassador for Buck Knives. His show is on the Sportsman's Channel. We have a 30-second commercial on that show, and just to show you the kind of guy Chad is, he had an opening, and he called me and gave us another 30-second commercial on his show. Somebody had backed out at the last minute or something fell through, so he's given us. And let me tell you, in this industry, if somebody gives you something like that, that's a high dollar gift that they're giving you. Now, he also knows when he speaks at the NRA convention and calls me and says he needs buck knife hats and some knives to give away to kids in the crowd, I'm all for that, and so is the family. Like CJ talked about earlier, Boone and Crockett Club, we're very involved with them. Their show is on the Outdoor Channel. It runs the 3rd and 4th quarter. It's on now. Oh, getting back to Chad, I forgot. This weekend, the show that we filmed with CJ and Chad last year when CJ shot his mule deer, right? Mule deer. It actually airs this, I believe, this weekend. Chad sent an email the other day saying it would be on. So if you get the Sportsman's Channel, it's called Shoot Straight with Chad Shearer. Boone and Crockett Country is on the Outdoor Channel. You can check. Eventually, we'll have it on our website, all the shows we're sponsoring and the times that they appear. Family Traditions with Haley Heath, another just great lady, young lady and her husband have that TV show. Escape to the Wild ran 1st and 2nd quarter on the Versus Channel. No Fences Outdoor with Danny Grove, another great guy. CJ met him a year or so ago at a show and then told me about him, and I sat down with him, and he's a big believer in buck knives. We actually have a very, very minimal sponsorship of his show, and he called me the other day, this a couple months ago, and said an auto dealer was donating 2 trucks for him to give one away at the end of the season, and then one that he drives around for his hunts. And he said if I sent him the JPEG or the logo information, he'd put it on his truck. So he put it on his truck. We did not pay for that. These guys realize how much value the Buck Knives brand brings to them as well as what they bring for us, and that's a big plus. Big Water Adventures, I don't know if any of you saw that. It's on the Outdoor Channel. Mark Davis used to be the head of PR and public relations and marketing for Shakespeare Fishing, and through some contacts we had, he let it be known that he'd like to have Buck involved with him, and we were involved this year in a big way at a minimal cost from our standpoint, and he actually made arrangements, got CJ to go to a media event down in Venice, Louisiana, and I'm the one that planned all this, and unfortunately it was the same time the oil explosion occurred. And CJ was about 20 miles from that when it blew up that day. I also was involved in that, and I went to Buffalo, New York on a media event up there on Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. And what we basically do is we get the opportunity to talk to writers, to talk to TV show hosts. As an example, if any of you watch In Fisherman and Steve Quinn, who's the host of that, I got to 45 minutes to tell Steve all about our new products. So you'll be seeing a write-up in Fisherman magazine talking about the new folding Silver Creek fillet. They absolutely love that knife. Seasons on the Fly, we just worked out a deal with them. It's on the Versus Network. It's about fly fishing. It's a local company. The guy that owns the show, the host of it, is the voice of the Gonzaga Bulldogs up in Spokane. But it's a national show. It's on Versus. It's all over the United States. We're working with him. Another new show called The American Way, which is on Pursuit Channel, and then Life in the Open, which was on Versus. So there's 3 major TV networks that do hunting and fishing shows. You got the Outdoor Channel, the Sportsman's Channel, and the Pursuit Channel. We had shows on all 3 of those as well as Versus. So we've got all the networks covered. As far as what we're doing for this year and into next year, what I think you guys will be interested in. This year we had Ducks Unlimited. We have the 2010 membership banquet knife for DU. Boone and Crockett Club, CJ talked about earlier, we got a lot of things going with them. And the Delta Waterfowl, which is a new organization just recently that we've gotten involved with. I'm actually interviewed in this month's magazine about why Buck sees the importance of Delta Waterfowl and what Delta Waterfowl brings to the table for us and what we bring to the table for them, and they're very enthusiastic about having us on board. And it looks like, this is even news to CJ, it looks like you and I will be heading there probably in a couple months to do some duck hunting. I know. That's the fun thing about our job. And we continue to work real close with the Bass Angler Sportsman Society, the BASS, which up until about 3 days ago was still owned by ESPN Disney, but they're in the process of selling it. I won't even go into our website. We know our website is not the easiest, the greatest thing to maneuver around on. I just said I won't go into it, and then here I am saying we'll go into it. We're looking at revamping that, and just keep your eye on it. There'll be some changes coming. Mike Dolmich, who's our new product manager, he and his crew were just out 2 weeks ago for a 2-3 overnight stay out in the woods in the wilderness, and they took our new products and competitor products and just tested them. You know, camping, hiking, backpacking, fly fishing, all that kind of stuff. Mike and I were in Las Vegas a couple weeks ago and met with Mark Davis and Bill Lowen on the fishing side, the ICAST show, which is the fishing industry's big show. We were there meeting with them, and I can tell you there's a lot of people in the fishing industry that are excited about Buck getting involved in it as much as we are. Let's see here. Just out of curiosity, what do you folks think of like the Pack Light series as compared to the more traditional hunting knives? Do you like that Pack Light as a difference? And the reason I'm asking that, we're kind of trying to determine the way the hunting's going to be. Is it going to be more compact, lighter, that type thing, or more of the traditional hunting knives? What do you guys, as general, just by applause, do you like the Pack Lights or? I was curious because I didn't think they would, because it's not really what you think of when you think of a buck knife, but I can tell you the hardcore hunters, they love them. They absolutely love them. Okay, for 2010, we put our pro staff team together, and for 2010, you basically have Chad and Marcia Shearer, who are the host of the Shoot Straight with Chad Shearer, which is hunting, Haley and Geo Heath, which is a hunting show, Bill Lowen, who's freshwater fishing, Mark Davis, who's saltwater fishing, Danny Grove and Levi Johnson, who are on No Fences Outdoor, and then Greg Heister, who's the fly fishing. We also have what we call a pro staff field team now. Tim Craig, the owner of Boulder Creek Outfitters in Idaho, owns about 160,000 acres of private land that we can entertain our customers on. We can film TV shows on and that type of thing. And that's like, what, little less than 3 hours from our office, right, CJ? So it's really convenient for us to entertain clients. And then his son, Matt Craig, is the pro staff field team. And then Ken Helfrich has Helfrich River Outfitters, and he's been very influential with us and providing us feedback. We continue to do special projects. We just talked about Jim Shockey Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops. We did a kitchen cutlery set, that elk set you saw. We got that to Chad Shearer's TV show, and Marcia Shearer uses it when they do the new segment, In the Kitchen with Marcia. It's on their TV show this year, and she uses that, and the guy that has the license for Real Tree Foods saw it, contacted Chad, said, hey, why don't you have Bob George give me a call? I'd love to have set. So he uses that, and he travels around the country and does a lot of other hunting shows, and he's using that as well. We're in discussion with several companies as far as doing some promotional things next year with them. I don't know if you folks have seen it, but this year in advertising, we've had ads in Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation Bugle Magazine, July, August, September, October, November, December this year. Boone and Crockett Fair Chase Magazine. Cabela's Big Game Classic, we're sponsoring that here coming up the end of August. And then Blade Magazine, their new showcase website, we've got products featured on that. As far as some additional things this year, you've got there's an article coming out, and I read it today, and it's excellent, in Tactical Knives for the September issue. It talks about Buck and Tops and Buck CZRT knife, and this guy just raves about the two Idaho companies working together. And if you notice, the logos, we've got the red, white, and blue logo that we had up there, and then we've got the black logo. And I kind of started playing around a little bit. CJ and I, when we get shirts and we put the shield behind it, it looks like we work at Joe's gas station. You know, it looks like a patch, so I took the shield out of the back of it. So you'll see us kind of playing around with the logo a little bit, but not to the extent of what they've done in the past where we reinvent the wheel. I don't want to do that. What I want to do is make it where the logo jumps. So we're kind of taking a look at different directions with that. But that's pretty much what I've got, and I'll be glad to answer any questions if anybody has any. Thank you.
We had asked for questions that you might like to have answered. Ah, good.
Hunting knives. As a tribute to the Boone and Crockett Club, Buck has created the Safety Orange series of knives. These knives celebrate the hunting and conservation principles of this famous organization. This affordable collection showcases lightweight folders to skinners, highlighting the Boone and Crockett logo on each blade. These knives are perfect for any hunting expedition. Add the Boone and Crockett knives to your trophy collection today.
That's actually Chad's backyard.
Check out the new Packlight series from Buck. The Packlight skeletal steel frame is built for durability and cutting. Packlights are made with 428C stainless steel. Whether you choose the skinner, caper, or the gut hook ring, these knives are surgically efficient and extremely durable. As an upgrade, you can get Buck's Black Traction coating. They're made in the USA and come with Buck's Forever warranty. They're lightweight, but they're priced, so they won't make your billfold lighter.
Anybody have any questions for Bob?
I may not have any answers, but there's one.
Yes, I was wondering, is there any case that we'll see some of the same pitch steel in the 110s, or as an option under the custom shop on the website, or some other new steels maybe also besides that?
Yeah, if I've learned anything, once we get something different like that Sandvik steel or 154 CM or CPM 154, yeah, there's pretty a chance somewhere along the line you'll probably see that.
I've heard some good things about it. I'd like to see it.
Yeah, it's a good steel from the standpoint of the fact that it does everything you want it to do, and it's not excessively priced. You know, some of the stuff, they make a bigger deal out of the steel than what it really is. And a lot of our competition is really good at playing up, you know, D2 steel and all this different kind of stuff. And the bottom line is, I mean, you have steel that is here, here, and here. It's just a matter of what kind of price point you want to pay for it and what is it you're expecting out of that particular type of steel that you want to do on that product. That was easy. All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay, well, you have presented us with some questions and indicated who you would like to answer them. So I'm going to ask Leroy and Wild Bill Cody and CJ to come up. And John and I will try to answer for the board. The first question is to the board. We have had a great time. When is the next BCCI special event? John, you want to take that one?
Wish it was that easy. The next planned one will be the 25th anniversary of the BCCI, which will be held tentatively the last week in July 2013.
Maybe the first week of August, right? That's.
I blocked both the weeks out, so. I told Dad to do the same.
Okay, this question is directed to Wild Bill Cody. How many ladies in the audience would buy Wild Bill feather earrings, or could we have a necklace?
Get up there, all of them. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, how are you going to answer that one?
I think they want to know.
The answer is yes.
I think they want to know if you will build them feather earrings
Leroy's taking orders now.
that you're going to build. You'll take orders and you'll build them.
Yep.
You've got your answer. Okay.
I was worried about where that question was headed.
This is more of a suggestion to CJ and to the club board. 2016. Wow, that's a long way away.
Ways out.
Will be the 50th anniversary of the 301 Stockman. The suggestion is that we remake the 301 as a limited edition or club knife and make it with groove bolsters and pinned handles. So that's something you've got 5 years to think about to build it for the 6th year.
Okay.
Okay? How's that for a nice political answer? CJ, they want to know what your fondest buck memory is. I'm sure it was working with Leroy.
Yeah, it was.
I'll let you answer.
My fondest buck memory. That's a tough one. That's a tough one, cold turkey. Yeah, yeah. It's hard for me to distinguish between buck memories and non-buck memories. I honestly don't. I don't know how to answer that. I'm sorry.
Okay. See, these guys are answering these questions just on the fly. So, Leroy, what knife do you enjoy reworking the most?
None of them.
Beer polish.
No. The 703, that was a nightmare.
They said enjoy.
Enjoyed working the most?
Yeah.
110.
110.
Sorry, 703 was
And along those lines, when you worked for Buck, which custom knife model did you most enjoy building? And can I tell you what I think the answer is?
Okay, go ahead.
I think it might be the Subhilt buoy.
Yep, that was it.
Am I right?
904 Subhilt.
Okay. See, I know this guy a little bit. I've heard him gripe about the ones he doesn't like and tell us the ones he does like.
Oh,
Well,
you know what? I got a memory.
it's not about Leroy, is it?
No. No, I don't have a lot of positive, no, I'm serious. No, I think one of the really cool things we did, we threw a 65th birthday party for my father. And it was a surprise party. So my job was to keep it as a complete surprise. And so I did a couple things. There's a couple little funny pieces. I'll start by saying when he walked into that room and the entire company was sitting there, and they had done kind of a 1950s version based on his love of the Chevys. So it was a complete surprise. He had no clue. I forget where I told him we were going, but we were going to go look at, I think we were going to go look at something while Bill did. But whatever it was, to get him to walk to the cafeteria. But how we kept this a complete surprise was by copying all on email. Because my father doesn't do email. So the entire company was completely in the know, and we just copied all. We copied everybody. The entire company was in the know. We did all our planning, emails flying back and forth, who's going to be where, who's going to bring the what, what's going to happen, and it was a complete surprise to my father because it was on email. So that's
Okay, another questions for Wild Bill.
I have no idea. I think we did. Yeah.
Okay, this question is for Wild Bill Cody. It is, who was your mentor and where do you get your inspiration?
My mentor is Leroy Reamer.
Thank you very much.
And where you get your inspiration from?
They just pop in my head.
I just fake it. I just fake it.
I fake it.
These two questions are directed to CJ. Number one, the main blade on my Model 317 is worn out. How do you wear out a 317 blade? They're so big. Anyway, has Buck ever considered making replacement blades for the discontinued 300 series model knives? Take away Leroy's work. Please do.
No, at this point, no. That's they would probably have to be laser cut and hand hologround.
I'll do it for you. Okay, and here's another one for CJ. The member's asking, CJ, what model was the most difficult for you to decide to discontinue?
You know, to be honest, it was a 401 Kalinga was the hardest one for me to discontinue.
Grandpa's favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at this one. This one is not a question, it's a comment to the board. The writer is saying that he is hoping that all of the BCCI annual knives will continue to have the gold etch BCCI banner logo on the blades. He says the gold application gives the knives professional class and display appeal, and he hopes this practice continues. I do too.
Not much of a question.
Great comment, though. And finally, before we turn it over to Brian for a question for you, there is a question for Leroy. They want you to give a comment about stabilizing handle materials. I would assume they mean wood.
A comment on it?
Uh-huh. They need to be stabilized.
Or cactus?
Well, I don't know what kind of comment you want. It's hard to stabilize. It is. Well, a lot of the woods that you don't use, well, we didn't use, now you can use.
What else to say? You're brilliant, you know?
That ain't a question, that is a hard answer.
You can talk to Jimmy Goldberg about it.
Where's Jimmy at?
Pay somebody to do it.
You're in trouble.
Brian,
Are we done? You want to sound?
we are.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You're good sports. Somebody in the Buck Marketing Department by the name of Stephanie. Young. Did she just get married? Yes, okay, I knew I didn't know the name Young. And she also did the previous logo for the 20-year event, and she does a wonderful job. She actually gave us about 8 to choose from. They were very, very similar, and the board picked this one. Do you like it? I do. Good, okay.
All right, folks, some highlights here. We're getting ready to do the big raffles. Marilee, could you help me out? We're gonna pull tickets now for the 505 prototype set. I'm gonna have you pull the tickets. And these tickets, folks, are the Office Max red color tickets. This is for the 505 prototype set.
Okay, guess I have to do it in here. Okay, 4, 8, 4, 6, 3, 8. All right.
All right, folks, here it is.
Oh, that's a nice one.
There it was.
You know, I just thought the ticket puller automatically got that.
That's at the next event.
Oh, I got it, okay. All right. 9, 6, 3, 5, 6. Boy, you could hear a pin drop in here. 9, 7. There you go. Good job. Select your tables.
Stand up, Gene.
Jean Merritt got it.
Folks, once again, we're going to be at the Spirit of Steel Knife Show, November 5, 6, and 7. We're looking for people to exhibit with us. If you'll see Georgia, where are you going to do it? Out front? Out front at the table. She'll have all the information you need. I hope you all had a great time. I've had a blast. It's been great spending time with you. Thank you all very much.